and welcome to my channel, Charlotte and Face. Today I'm going to be talking about anime again, an underrated anime that I think more people should watch. Some of them are fairly popular, but I just think they deserve more recognition, so there's a bit of debate over whether they're actually underrated, but it's just my opinion. So let's get started. So the first anime that I have on my list is Beck Mongolian Chop Squad, and it came out in 2004. And it is a comedy drama, music, shonen, slice of life anime. Our main character is a 14-year-old boy called Koyuki. One day, when coming home from school, Koyuki finds this weird looking dog who's being bullied by children, and through saving the dog he meets Ryusuke. Koyuki starts hanging around with Ryusuke and he meets some of his friends. Ryusuke has started a new band called Beck, and Koyuki joins the band. And the story unfolds as he meets the other band members and just gets more and more involved with Ryusuke. Things I liked about this anime were the animation. It's quite different from other anime. The sketches are simple and minimalistic, but the backgrounds are more detailed. The characters are also quite unique as well. They're more real and gritty than a lot of like cutesy anime. None of the characters are perfect, which makes them more real. They're all kind of flawed in some way. There's no like perfect foreign transfer student that comes into the mix like a lot of anime. Not that that's a bad thing, that's an interesting plot technique. But yeah, the characters are more believable, which makes you want to root for them and follow their story. With it being a music anime, I love the music in it. And although it's maybe a different style than I listened to before or would usually listen to, I just think the music in it is really cool. Like, not only the music of the band Beck that they make, but the music that's used in general, like the intro music and the transition music, background music, just any music that's used in this anime is really good. I actually bought an album as a result of watching this anime. I bought the album by Beat Crusaders, which is the band, the Japanese band that does the intro for this anime, so there's that. I just think it's good that this anime introduced me to new music, with it being a music anime. That's good. The next anime on my list is School Live, which came out in 2015. It's a horror, mystery, psychological school slice of life anime. Quite an interesting mix of genres, but I will explain how that comes together in the plotline. One of the main characters in this anime is Yuki, who really loves school, so much so that she never wants to leave. She's part of the school living club, which is a group of students, a group of 4 girls who actually live at the school. However, there's a bit of a twist because they live at the school for a particular reason, and that reason is that they are in the middle of a zombie apocalypse and they have barricaded themselves in the school. So they can't leave the school because there's zombies everywhere. But Yuki has kind of deluded herself into believing that everything's fine and that there's not a zombie apocalypse, and the other girls in the club have to keep up this illusion for her for fear of her kind of breaking down. The anime just follows them in their daily lives as they struggle to keep up the illusion for Yuki whilst avoiding the zombies. So they not only have a challenge of survival, as they are the only survivors of this apocalypse and they have no contact with the outside world, but they must also keep up this illusion for Yuki. Things I liked about this anime were the way that they reveal the twist, that it's a zombie apocalypse, and the fact that the contrast in the cutesy character design and animation is very juxtaposed with the actual situation that's going on. But yeah, that's what I like about School Live. The next anime on my list is Usagi Drop, which came out in 2011, and it's a Josie slice of life anime. I feel like not many people have seen this anime. Like, I don't see it talked about very much. I don't see it on many lists online of anime that you should watch. but I think it's really good, and here's an outline of the story. One of the main characters is Dakichi, who is a bachelor who lives alone in Tokyo. He returns home for the funeral of his grandfather, after which he finds a little girl in the garden. This girl's called Rin, and it turns out that she is the illegitimate child of Dakichi's grandfather. She's alone in the garden because none of the other family members want to take her in because she is illegitimate and they're embarrassed by that, which is really horrible. Feeling sorry for the girl Rin, Dakichi takes her in, takes her back home with him to Tokyo, and they begin their life together. And that's just what the anime is about. It's about the daily lives of Dakichi and Rin, a bachelor and a young girl, just living together, living out their lives. Things I liked about this anime were how understated it is, the animation, the character design. Nothing in it is over the top. It's more realistic. It's a more realistic style of sketching. The intro is really sweet and calming. I like the tone that it sets for each episode. It's probably one of the most wholesome animes that I've watched. It's just really sweet, really cute. There's no like lewdy fan service, which is nice. Sometimes I can find slice of life anime a bit boring because it's literally just watching characters in their daily lives, but this one I didn't. This one I watched all the way through, like in one day I think, just because the story is really sweet, the characters are very endearing, and I just like it. The episodes weren't formulaic, the story just flows, which is really nice. And it's very sweet to see the relationship between Dakichi and Rin develop. It's just very, very sweet, very, very wholesome. On the whole, great anime. The next anime on my list is Princess Jellyfish. It came out in 2010 and it is a comedy josei slice of life anime. The premise of the story is that this girl, Tsukimi, has an obsession with jellyfish ever since her late mother took her to an aquarium where she saw moon jellyfish, and ever since then she's been obsessed. She moves to Tokyo and is living in a house of all females. They're all unemployed and they're all otaku. They all have different things that they're obsessive about. But obviously our main characters, one is Jellyfish. Tsukimi's life changes one day when she's out for a walk and she passes by a pet shop aquarium type place, and there's a jellyfish in the same tank. There's a moon jellyfish in the same tank as another kind of jellyfish which will kill it. Obviously the owner of the aquarium is not educated about how these jellyfish will hurt each other. The shop is just closing, so she can't go in and tell the shopkeeper what's wrong, or she struggles to because she also has anxiety. Anyway, there's another girl walking past and she helps Tsukimi save the jellyfish, and Tsukimi takes the jellyfish home and cares for it. However, this other girl comes home with her, and this girl is very glamorous. She's what Tsukimi and her friends call a normie because she isn't an otaku, she isn't socially challenged, she doesn't have anxiety, she doesn't have fear about, you know, the outside world beyond her home, like a hikikomori or something. Anyway, over the next few days, this popular girl keeps visiting where Tsukimi lives, and it's just about how they get to know each other and how they affect each other's lives. Oh, also this popular fashionable girl turns out to be a boy, so there's that. Things I liked about this anime were the unique animation style and the quirky characters. I like that our main character struggles with things like social anxiety. Obviously I don't like that, I don't wish that on anyone, but it's interesting to see how the character is flawed. Tsukimi kind of struggles to interact with people, she struggles to be out in the world. And I also like that it's not obvious where the story's going, like it's not obvious that I mean, it's not listed as a romance story, and whatever romance there is between Tsukimi and this cross-dressing boy is not obvious, but it's still somehow there, which is interesting. It's nice and subtle. It's strange, but good. The next anime on my list is Grimdar of Fantasy and Ash. It came out in 2016 and it's an action adventure drama fantasy anime. So this is kind of like an otherworld anime where there are a load of people thrown into this world with only hazy memories. They can only really remember their name. They don't know how they got there. They're transported to this other world. It's kind of like a RPG, kind of medieval kind of fantasy world, and they have to form a party in this world, and the story focuses on this particular group that form a party and their adventures that they go on, and the drama that happens not only in their tasks that they complete but in the social dynamics of the group that happen. I'm not explaining this very well, but it's a good anime, look it up. Things I liked about this anime were how the execution of the transport to another world genre was done. I think it was quite unique, and unlike a lot of animes where they're just kind of transported into a video game, but in this anime you don't even get to see where they came from. They're just suddenly there and they don't even remember where they came from. So I think that's pretty cool. I like the artwork in this anime in that everything kind of looked like a watercolor painting, which I don't think I've seen before in anime, at least not all the way through a whole anime. I like how the group dynamics are shown in this anime and how things develop throughout it, in that there's tension between certain characters, maybe sexual or not, even if they won't admit it. And not to spoil it, but I like that people die in this anime because they're going on dangerous adventures and obviously people are gonna get hurt and die. I mean, I know in Sword Art Online people die, but they just kind of turn into pixels because they're in a video game. I know they die in real life, but it feels more real in Grimdar of Fantasy and of Ash because there's like blood and stuff. I don't know, I like blood and I like gore because I'm a weirdo. But yeah, that was my list of underrated anime that I think you should watch. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that you like these kind of videos and that you want to see more. Let me know if you do. Bye!